So Coromon, what do you think about the trailer for the new Digimon series, Digimon Try? It looks pretty good. You could say they tried. Eh? Eh? Okay, it was pretty bad. Let me explain to you something. Digimon was my life as a child. It was right on the tail end of the whole Pokemon train getting really big with red and blue back in like the very late 90s, like 99, 2000. And Pokemon had just been banned from schools. There was no Game Boys allowed to be brought in. You couldn't play Pokemon. You couldn't bring in the cards. Nothing. It was gone. And my entire life up to that point had been all about being a Pokemon master. So I had nothing to do in school and nothing to relate to with my friends anymore because, you know, fourth graders are completely shallow and have no concept beyond like the current fad that the school is obsessed with. So we needed something new. And for me, that was these little Tamagotchi things that could connect and fight each other called Digimon. And it was kind of like Pokemon, but different. So loophole, screwed over the school, got the school addicted to Digimon, and then that summer, Digimon came out on Fox Kids, and I was like, I did that. I brought Digimon to the United States. In my tiny, pathetic fourth grade brain, I figured I was personally responsible for doing that. But needless to say, I got completely friggin' addicted to Digimon, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, like which was better, Pokemon or Digimon, and to me, Digimon always had the better TV series. It was like the first series that I was exposed to as a little kid that had a continuous storyline, because everything else I'd been watching at the time, you know, Pokemon and Spider-Man and the X-Men series and Batman, they all had segmented stories. Each episode was its own story, and very rarely did they have things that continued. But Digimon was the first thing that I watched as a little kid that the story kept going each week, and I got super addicted to that because it was one big mystery and one big continuous kind of narrative. And my little brain had never experienced anything like that. And so it blew my mind, and I was completely addicted. And I just loved the characters, and I loved the theming, and even coming back to it now, because I've watched the show multiple times since being a little kid. I love Digimon. I love the feel of Digimon. I love the themes of Digimon. I love the animation in Digimon. It's great. And I'm not ashamed to admit that, yeah, I still will watch this show, and I've loved pretty much everything the show has done. So today we finally got to see the actual first teaser trailer for Digimon Try, and the big deal about Digimon Try is that it is the first series, Digimon Adventure, the characters coming back after 10, 15 years of a hiatus, because the way the show worked is that the first series starred these chosen children, the original cast of characters. The second one was kind of a continuation of it, but it followed like the next generation of chosen children, or Digidestined, depending if you watch dub or sub. And then we had Digimon Tamers, which was amazing, but that's when the show kind of became more like how these continual series work in Japan, where each season has a new cast. And since then, we haven't really returned to the original 2 seasons cast and continuity until now. Now we're seeing Tai, Matt, Sora, Izzy, TK, Kari, all over again, older and in high school, and they're going back to the digital world again to see the original Digidestined and their Digimon in modern animation. This trailer was freaking awesome. It had the remix of the original theme from Digimon Adventure 01, Butterfly. It was like a redone version of it. I guess they're gonna have that in these series along with like the same ending theme as well. So nostalgia is like in full effect here, and they're milking my feels for all it's worth, and it's working. I'm really hype. I want this. And that's the biggest problem, is because initially this series was announced as a series that was going to air this summer. So I was going to be like, you know, me and my friend Jaxplay were like, hell yeah, we're going to have Dragon Ball S and Digimon Try. The 90s are back in full force. This is going to be the best summer ever. And we're still getting Dragon Ball S, but this was announced today that it's going to be a series of 6 films, not a series on TV. And the films aren't coming out until November, and I was like, oh, well, you know, November is my birthday month, so look, happy birthday to me from Toei. Like, I've supported you guys forever. Thank you. But the theatrical releases, And that's a double-edged sword. Because on the one hand, a theatrical release means bigger budget. And bigger budget means better animation. And holy shit, the animation for the fight scenes in this teaser were fantastic. We had Omnimon, which you haven't even seen aside from our war game, throwing down with this other dude that I don't know who it is because I don't play the games or anything, so I don't know all the other Digimon that weren't ever really featured in the show. They were throwing down, and it looked really good. They had this awesome scene in the beginning with Greymon fighting Kuwagamon, which is, I guess, is kind of a throwback to the first episode because Kuwagamon was in that one too. But whatever, it was really animated like fluidly, and I had really good keyframing, and it felt dynamic. I loved it. So that's great that we're gonna get a theatrical film. So the entirety of this 6-film series can have really high quality animation. We're not gonna have to fudge anything because of like time limits or budget constraints, hopefully. The negative of that is that because they're theatrical films, we're not going to be able to see them as soon as they air or a day after they air like we do with the normal series because you can't just, record it off your TV, sub them, and throw them up on the internet. You got to wait for a release on home format, and that could be a long-ass time. Case in point, I'm still waiting for the Psycho Pass movie, which came out like the beginning of the year, and I still haven't found it yet. Not that I've been looking too hard, so maybe I'm wrong and it's already available on DVD or torrent or whatever. But I haven't seen it yet. And I wanted to because Psycho Pass is one of my favorite shows of the last 5 years, and I still haven't seen the movie for it yet. So I'm kind of bummed that... I could have dealt with the fact that, okay, I'm not going to be able to see it alongside Dragon Ball. I'm not going to be like full nostalgia mode. I'll wait for November. But the fact that I have to wait a year and November, that sucks. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow. Hopefully it does well, so we might be able to see more stuff about this. I'm interested to see how this affects 02. To anyone who has watched Digimon before, 02 followed a new cast of characters for the most part. We also had TK and Kari come back as they were the two youngest characters in the original series. And this was a couple years later, so they joined 3 new characters, and it was a continuation, and then like their main cast was like in middle school or older, like I don't know how school works in Japan. They were a couple years older, so they were like off doing their own thing for the bulk of the time, but they came back every now and then. I'm wondering if we're going to see like, Davis or Daisuke, Yoli and Cody, whatever their names are in the subs, I don't remember, because I watched it dub, of course. I was a ripe old age of 10 when the show came out, so I was like hook, line, and sinker on that shit. Plus we had 56K, so you couldn't torrent this crap anyway. I'm old. But yeah, I'm wondering if this is going to be a retcon of that series. It's just not going to happen. There's going to be a direct continuation of Adventure 01 without taking any of that into account. Or if this is going to continue from 02. Because the last episode of 02 is very divisive among the fandom because it kind of did like, this is how everyone Adventure ended, and this is them when they're all adults, and it kind of very much like sealed the deal on the continuity of the Adventure kind of timeline. So whether we're going to kind of try and squeeze this in between the last episode and 02, or if we're just going to ignore the entirety of Adventure 02 and just start fresh, I don't know. I kind of liked Adventure 02, but it wasn't nearly as good as the first one. So if they just scrapped it, I wouldn't be too upset about it. But at the same time, I would like to see Vmon and Davis again. And Ken. Ken was cool. Wormmon was the best. So, we'll see. Overall, though, freaking hype. I want to watch it, but I don't want to wait. Hopefully they come out on DVD quick. Don't fuck with my feelings like that again, Toei.